Hey kids, welcome back to music class. We've been talking about the instrument families. We started with brass, then we talked about woodwinds, strings, and today we're going to talk about the percussion family, perhaps my favorite. So let's review how instruments work. If you remember, something creates a vibration, then there's usually a spot where the sound can resonate, where the sound bounces around inside, it becomes louder. Then there's a way to change the pitch. Now, a lot of percussion instruments can't change their pitch. They just make one sound. And we'll look at the difference between those two types in just a moment. So, percussion instruments have to be struck. You have to hit them in some sort of way. You can strike them with your hands or with sticks. You can shake them. You can also scrape them or hit them together. I'll show you that in just a moment. So some of the percussion instruments are the maracas and shakers, the woodblock, the güiro, triangle, tambourine, cowbell, bongos, cymbals, djembe, and then there's the bells and xylophone. These instruments can play different pitches, and I'll show you those in just a moment. So let's start off with the maracas. You've probably seen these before. You just shake them. And inside these maracas, this little wooden shell is hollow, and there's these beads on the inside. When you shake it, the little beads hit the inside, and that's how it makes a sound, maracas. And the shaker works just the same way. Here's my little eggs shaker. You see that? And when you shake it, these little beads hit the inside, and that's how it makes a sound. This one's a little smaller, so it's kind of higher pitched, isn't it? Next, we have the wood block. And it's called a wood block because it's a little block of wood. But it's hollow here and here. So you can hit it and it'll make a sound. And there's two sides, the high side and the lower side. Just like that. So there's a wood block. If you notice, I was hitting this one with a drumstick. Next, we've got the güiro. That's this instrument right here. This instrument's special because you have to scrape it. You don't hit it or shake it. You scrape these little ridges right here. See those? And when you scrape it, it sounds like that. So there's the güiro, and this is used in a lot of Latin music, like salsa. Next, we have the triangle. Can you guess why it's called a triangle? Because it's shaped like a triangle, right? So, with a triangle, you have to hold this on a little string, just like this. And when you hit it, it makes a really high-pitched sound. But you have to hold it by the string, because if you hold it down here, it can't vibrate. So it doesn't make a very good sound. So you hold it by this little string so it can dangle freely. And you play the triangle just like that. It's really tiny, isn't it? So it makes the highest sound. Triangle. Next, we've got the tambourine. So the tambourine is special because you can hit it, you can shake it like this, or you can rub it just like that. Pretty cool, right? A lot of people like to play these when they're singing. There's the tambourine. Next, we have the cowbell right here. You might be wondering, why is it called a cowbell? Because farmers used to put these on their cows so they could hear where they were out in the fields. It made them much easier to find. Now, we use it as an instrument. It's hollow on the inside, and you just tap it. Just like that. There's the cowbell. Next, we have the bongos, and that's these little drums right here. They come in a pair, so you get a smaller one and a larger one. Can you guess which one would be higher pitched? the smaller one. Take a listen. You sit down and you hold them right here. You play them just like that. Pretty cool, huh? So there's the bongos. Next we have the cymbals. And the cymbals look like this. These are just tiny cymbals. Usually cymbals are much bigger around and they make a big crashing sound because you gotta crash them together like this. You can also hit cymbals with sticks or mallets. Next we've got the djembe, and it has this special spelling, D-J-M-E-M-B-E, because it comes from Africa. Let's take a look at this one. And this is a big drum, so you can hold it just like this, and you hit it with your hands, just like the bongos. You can hit it in the middle for a lower sound. You can hit it on the edge for a higher sound. And when you put it together, sounds just like that. Pretty cool, huh? That's the djembe. Okay. So all these instruments so far usually just make one, perhaps two types of sounds. But I'd like to talk about the bells and the xylophone. These instruments can play high pitches and lower pitches, so you can play a melody on these. Here's the bells, and this is the xylophone. Now they're almost the same thing, except the bars are made out of different materials. This one is made out of wood. But on the bells, the bars are made out of metal, so they sound like bells. Let's take a listen. Here are the bells. And then there's the xylophone. And the xylophone's made out of wood, so it's going to sound just a little bit different. Just like that. So that's the xylophone. You have instruments that can play pitches and the other instruments that just make sounds. So there's the percussion family for you. I hope you enjoyed that lesson, and we'll see you next time.